Good morning, everyone. We will start with a new chapter called WAP in mobile computing today. So, first of all, uh, it is a thing to consider or thing to wonder about that definitely internet protocol or the protocol stack that we used in internet must be different than mobile computing or mobile wireless network system, isn't it? On the internet protocol suite, we use TCP/IP stack. Okay, there is a set of protocol. It's a 5-layer protocol stack used for internet. Okay, the network system is different. The data link layer has a particular functionality. Then the transport layer does some job. The application layer does some job. Application layer consists of HTTP protocol. Okay, mostly. Similarly, for mobile computing also, we have a protocol suite called WAP. Okay, so what does WAP stand for? It is Internet Protocol Stack Suite, which is applicable to mobile devices. Okay, the protocol stack suite, which is applicable to mobile devices, is called WAP. WAP full form is Wireless Application Protocol. So this is a protocol which is specific to mobile or handheld devices. What is handheld devices? Which can move, which we carry it in our hand or pocket. Okay. So such devices like laptops or mobile or tabs, all these are called handheld or mobile devices, and these comply or these apply the protocol suite called WAP, Wireless Application Protocol. Okay. So, what do you mean by www first? To run www, World Wide Web. What is World Wide Web? The traffic in internet is called www. It is, but the traffic has to move in a certain way. There are some rules based on which the traffic moves. The traffic cannot move just like that. Okay, to move the traffic, it has to follow certain rule. Like it has to follow from router to router the shortest distance. Okay, which path to take and how the flow must be maintained. Okay, so all these are guided or addressed in the protocol suite or stack. Okay, everything, the flow control, the error control, how to control the error, what happens if one bit is flipped from 0 to 1, how to check that, what happens if a packet is lost, how to address that, how to rectify it, okay, so that the receiver gets whatever it wanted, okay, how to check the error and how to check the flow, okay, what if the receiver or sender is overwhelmed with lot of packet, which route to follow, okay, all these are addressed in the protocol suite stack, okay. In internet we use TCP/IP, and in mobile devices, mobile computing, we use WAP. Okay, I hope you got the idea what WAP is. Okay. Now, let us talk about in WAP. We have three major things to understand. Okay, WAP has a network architecture. WAP has a network architecture. It has a protocol suite. And lastly, it has a language. Okay, it has a language, wireless markup language. It has a markup language. Okay, WLL, wireless markup language. Okay, these three things are important in WAP. Okay, so first we have to understand what the architecture is. So here by network architecture architecture means how application layer behaves, how client server programming happens. The underlying layer we did not discuss much. Okay, in network architecture we have to see just how client and server they communicate. Okay, that is all about network architecture. In protocol suite, we will understand the entire underlying layers. Okay, not just application layer, the other layers. How from signals and up to the sending of connecting with the other host or client, how the traffic goes layer by layer upwards and layer by layer downwards. Okay, we will check it in protocol soon. Okay, next is markup language. In what language the client communicates with the server in the internet. Okay, so for that matter we use a language called wireless markup language, and the language is written in, it works in through a web browser. Okay, so in application layer, to communicate through client server architecture, we always need a web browser. Without a web browser, you cannot write a WML language and the traffic cannot be sent in the internet, because internet has a language called markup language. Okay, there are various markup language which internet understand, that is application layer to application layer. The communication takes place through markup language. There are various markup language called XML, WML, HTML. Okay, HTML is used in internet, and mobile devices we usually use WML, wireless markup language. Okay, I hope you got the idea. From application layer to application layer, to communicate we need web browser, and web browser understand, here is the web browser, here is the web browser. Now for communicating these two, client and server to communicate, so any two machine, for any two machine in internet, if two machines are connected to the internet, for them to talk to each other, we need web browsers. And web browser understand the language called markup language. And markup language are of various types like XML, WML, and HTML. HTML is usually used for internet. WML is used for usually WAP protocol, that is mobile devices. When the talk comes about mobile devices, then we use which language? Wireless markup language. Okay, WML comes into picture. So let us discuss about these topic one by one. First, we will understand about the network architecture. So, how does WAP architecture takes place? First, there must be a WAP device. Okay, suppose this is the client device. Okay, this is the display. I'm just drawing the device. Okay, so suppose this is a WAP device. So first of all, the WAP device must have a micro browser. Those browsers are called WAP micro browser. Any micro browser. Generally, we also have Chrome in WAP. Okay, तुम्हारे मोबाइल में भी तुम्हें Chrome दिखेगा. Okay, Google Chrome and all. Usually, or Opera Mini is also a browser. Okay, that is also a micro browser. Okay, what are the types of micro browser? WAP micro browser, Chrome. We have Opera Mini, MI browser we have. So there are plenty, lots. Okay, in every mobile there must be a micro browser. Through that micro browser, okay, a request or a URL is sent. REQUEST, request URL. Unified Resource Locator. Okay, what is URL? URL is an address of an IP. Okay. IP is itself an address, but humans are not very accustomed with remembering numbers. So that's why we have URL like www.skdab.com. We can remember that, but can we remember the IP of the SKDAV server? No, right? Because it is difficult to remember IPs. Okay, so that's why URL is the name of the IP address. Okay, URL is the name and address is what? A number called IP address. Okay, so generally we request through an URL. And there is an application server. Okay, let's draw it nicely so that you can understand. is the content? Whatever you requested. Okay. So here we have content. Content is nothing but databases through which data is retrieved, and we have an HTTP server, of course. When we talk about internet, it's always about hypertext transfer protocol. Okay, internet means application layer का कौन सा protocol? HTTP protocol. That is internet. So anyway, mobile can connect to mobile devices only, but it has to bypass through internet, right? It has to connect to internet. Suppose A mobile wants to connect with B mobile. A must be connected to the internet, B must be connected to the internet. And what do we mean by internet? Internet means HTTP protocol at the application layer. Okay, so we must maintain client server programming means, I hope you know what client server programming. In computer networks you must have studied in the application layer. Client server means there is a relationship between communicators. Suppose I want to communicate to something. Suppose I want to know what is the meaning of, I want to Google the meaning of a term called annihilated, suppose. Now, Google is the server which is sending me a response because I requested that Google please tell me what is the meaning of this. Now, Google is the server which will give me the content. And how will the Google get the content? So here the application server is nothing but Google. And what is the content? Content is meaning of, the actual meaning of annihilator. Annihilator means someone which derives something away. Which drives something away is called annihilator. So whatever the content is, that is retrieved from Google server. So the server is nothing but Google, and it has bunch of database, it has bunch of application services through which it will get to know the meaning and it will send to the client. So it will send the client the response. Okay. So Google will send the response. What will it send in response? It will send the answer of the question you asked. Whatever you requested, it will send a response. Okay. So this is how a WAP architecture works like. Just that the difference is here we have a WAP device and we have the WAP device acts with confirming the WAP protocol suite. WAP devices कैसे काम करते हैं? WAP devices काम करते हैं as per WAP protocol suite. उनका जो प्रोटोकॉल लेयर है उसमें सेट ऑफ रूल्स है, उस रूल के हिसाब से WAP devices एक दूसरे के साथ कनेक्ट करते हैं. इंटरनेट कैसे कनेक्ट करते हैं? TCP/IP प्रोटोकॉल सूट. TCP/IP प्रोटोकॉल सूट फॉलो करता है. और WAP डिवाइसेस क्या फॉलो करते हैं? WAP प्रोटोकॉल सूट फॉलो करते हैं. So I hope you got the idea about the WAP architecture. Okay. So now we will understand the WAP protocol suite. Bunch of layers in it. Okay, let us understand and study each layer one by one. So first called application layer, WAP, short form. Then comes session layer, WSP. Okay, then come transaction layer, then security layer. Transaction layer, WTS. Then comes security layer, WTLS. Okay. Then finally comes transport layer. Okay, finally comes transport layer. Okay, WT. transport layer, what is the functionality of network layer, what is the functionality of application layer, what is the functionality of data link layer, what is the functionality of physical layer. I hope you know that. So based, if you have understanding of that, it is just very similar to what we studied in TCP/IP suite. WAP protocol suite is very much similar to TCP/IP protocol suite. In transport layer, which is also called WAP datagram protocol WDP, what happens is it has all the functionality of transport layer of internet protocol plus data link layer plus network layer functionality of data link, data link layer, network layer, and transport layer functionality of internet protocol is present in WDP. Okay, so TCP/IP TL plus NL plus data link layer is equivalent to WDP layer of WAP. Okay, WAP WDP is similar to TCP/IP's transport layer, network layer, and data link layer. All the functionality, that is flow control, error control, routing, IP addressing, and connection orientation, process to process communication, every functionality is present in wireless datagram protocol. Okay. So all these are done by transport layer of WAP, that is WDP, wireless datagram protocol we call it. Okay. Then we have a security layer which is majorly based on security. The CIA is maintained in WAP security layer. What is C? Confidentiality. I is integrity. And A is availability. Okay, everything is maintained in security layer. What is transaction layer in WAP protocol? Okay, in so in transaction layer, what happens is all the transaction, that is database DB transaction, are carried out through a particular rules, set of rules. Okay, how transaction must take place. When it is there is a rollback. Okay, if the transaction commit, then only we say that the transaction has been set to durable and change cannot be further made. Okay, so all the transaction related rules, all you need to remember for transaction protocol is all the transaction related rule has been separated in a layer called transaction layer in WAP. Okay, now what is the job of session layer? Session layers maintain the timing semantics. Okay, one cannot just open an application for indefinite time. Okay, it has to stop. So there is a timer which goes when you open an application. Once the timer is completed, the session is over. You have to again open the application, or you can say you have to again request to the server to give the service. Okay. For example, if you open Ola, okay, to book a ride. Now you see that during the afternoon time you opened, and from location A to location B the price is 100. Okay, but you want to go there in the night. Suppose 9 o'clock you want to go. Now in the afternoon 2 o'clock you are checking. Now in 2 o'clock the price is 100. Okay. Is this possible that you open the application now and at the night 9 o'clock you will book the ticket, sorry, you will book the ride, the cost will be same as 100? No, it will be updated. Why? Because the session has timed out. You cannot keep this indefinitely. The servers changes the data according to the traffic, according to the environment. The price of the ride changes. Okay, in the night it is high, in the afternoon it is low. So you cannot say that I will open in the afternoon and I will book in the night. Okay, the server will change the data, because when you open in the night, it will reinitiate. It will request the server again, and the server will give with updated data. Okay, the server will show the price of the updated amount. Okay. So this is what happens in session layer. It maintains the timers. It maintains the timers. Okay. What is application layer? Application layer we study that we maintain a WAP microbrowser to connect, and the language is WML, and the protocol is WAP protocol. Okay. So this was about the protocol suite of WAP. Now WML, I will give you some sample programs in the notes itself. You can understand it is same as like HTML program codes where it is same as the HTML code where you have to write the slash doc type, and with tags you have to write the title, then you have to give the body. Okay, so this is how WML also seems like it. Okay, so it is same as HTML code. I will share some of the code with you and we will discuss all this in Zoom class. Okay. So this was about WML. In the next class, we will just go through some of the, the WAP protocols implemented. Okay. So in the next class, we will study about push, pull content, and we will talk about the WAP implemented protocols such as and WAP 2x. Okay. So we will understand these are some of the implemented protocols. So we will talk about that in the next class about iMode and WAP 2.x. Sorry, WAP 2.x. So we will discuss this in the next class. And if you have any doubt, you can contact me through WhatsApp. Thank you.